Today's video is brought to us by TOYOTRESS. They sent me over a set of their boho butterfly locks in 12 inches in the color T30. This set comes with 8 packs of locks. There are 10 locks in each pack for a total of 80 locks. Now y'all know these locks are pretty thick, and you saw the loops on them. They're pretty thick as well, so I'm not going to do the traditional crochet. Instead, I'm going to do the knotless crochet method. I've featured this method in the past. It is absolutely my new go-to favorite for pre-looped crochet of any kind. But my hair was too short to do a full set in the back, so we kind of had to do a hybrid method where we only did it in the front and then we created like a half wig in the back so that we could reuse the hair. But now my hair is finally long enough to cornrow in the back, so I'm going to do the knotless method all the way around. To start things off, I just add one of the locks to my natural hair and then I braid down that section, and then I repeat the same steps, but I continue the pattern going back. I'm essentially chain linking the braids to each other, so I'm connecting the braid from the front to the next one in the back, and then I continue the chain as I go. Because my hair is still pretty short, this was kind of a struggle for me because, you know, braiding your own hair is always a task. But once I got the hang of it and had like a pattern down, it was pretty easy from there on out. I also did switch the method up when I got to the top of the head when my hair was longer, and I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video. But for now, I'm just adding the loops onto my hair and then braiding it down. I like this method so much better because when you do a traditional crochet, you cornrow the hair down. Usually it's already tight, and then when you have to loop the hair through, especially when they're thick locks like this, it can be rather difficult to get the loops through. And then too, when you do get it through, it tends to tighten up the braid even more, causing more tension on the head. And at my big old age, I do not like my head hurting at night, especially when I need to get my beauty rest. And for those of you who are concerned with tension in general, this is a tension-free style. You'll see I'll be able to put it up in a ponytail with no problem, move it from side to side, from part to part with no issues because the loops are not completely attached to my scalp. When I got to the end at the back, I just secured the ends with rubber bands, and then I secured all of those ends together, and I used about 5 or 6 locks to just crochet them in the back. Now I also featured this method in a braidless way, meaning you don't have to braid the hair down. It is a lot easier just to rubber band the sections down. The only downside with that is that the hair will get thicker the further you get to the back. So it really just depends on how much hair you have on your head. So here's where I changed the method at the top of the head. Here's what I did. What I did was I sectioned off the hair and I went ahead and added the locks all the way down the section of the cornrow, if that makes sense. So you're gonna see I'm gonna have all the locks lined up on my hair, and then I'm going to just braid it all down. I still follow the same pattern by adding in a lock, skipping some hair, then adding in a lock, then skipping some hair. So imagine, if you will, like stitch braids, but you're skipping every other stitch. Now this part can be a little bit tricky because you don't have that many locks to work with. You could very well do this on both sides of the cornrow and then just braid the cornrow down the middle of each of the locks. However, this is all the hair I had to work with. So I added the locks to the top of where the part was going to show, and then I braided on the bottom of that row. So you'll see in a minute how that worked. Even though this didn't take me long, y'all know your arms get tired when you get to the top of your head, so I was just a little bit frustrated and impatient. So this just kind of just came to mind. So I can't wait to try this out on a client. I can already envision how wonderful this will work on a perimeter crochet because you're doing a beehive and you can just add the locks in or add the pre-looped hair in as you're braiding instead of trying to like fit all of the loops onto the braid and then kind of hide them, if that makes sense. Like I said, this has got to be my new favorite method because you don't have to worry about placement of the knots and you don't have to worry about seeing the knots. The hair is just free flowing from get-go. And you see what I'm saying here? This is where I put the locks at the top of where the part is going to show. I always part my hair the same way so I won't have any issues with flip over. And when I work on that last row, I'm going to put the locks on the other side of the part so that when it flips over, you can't see the braid. Usually short styles like this, I don't wear down very often. I usually do a half up, half down, or a pony of some sort. So I'm not highly concerned about where the braids are going to show. I already know exactly how I'm going to wear this hair throughout its duration. So this install took me roughly around 2.5 hours, and that's only because this is my first time doing a full head. I'm sure I could just knock this out on a client in less than an hour and a half. So now that we got the hard part out the way, now we've got to get this human hair softened up. Y'all know human hair does what it wants to do. It's going to take the shape and the form that you put it in. So that's why it looked pretty stiff when we took it out the pack. So I'm going in with my travel steamer. This is a new one that I found on Amazon. This one's a little bit smaller and more compact than my other one, but it definitely gets the job done, gets nice and hot super fast. Not only does the steam add moisture and revive the curls, it softens those locks up as well. Let me tell you, my handheld steamers have become my new favorite go-to when it comes to braids and locks, because when they be stiff or when you have a boho style, you can just easily run up over it with the steamer instead of drenching your hair in water and waiting for it to dry. And here's the final look. I don't know if it was the color or if it was the style itself, but when I tell you I got stopped by like 5 different people on my way to work the next day, it was insane. I only wore it a couple of days because I had to jump into our next video, but let me tell you something. The takedown, literally 10 minutes. All I had to do was unloosen the braids and I was done. As always, if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and share it with a friend. Special thanks to our friends over at TOYOTRESS for sponsoring today's video. All the info about this hair and tools used in today's video will be listed in the description box below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out and give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok for more daily updates on products just like this. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!